Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Matt with Green Bar Trading here. We're going to go over some things that have happened in the market. I have been away on vacation. I got home yesterday and we saw a lot of earnings this week. The market is moving on those earnings. Now, can this be a fake out to get all those bears caught offside, taking their losses just in time for the big guys to sell these stocks at highs for the year? That can definitely happen, so be careful. Now, we have seen an economic calendar here with the GDP today that is not good. That is definitely going to raise some red flags for the economy. Seeing the GDP coming in at 1.1% today, a big miss expected was 2%. So, we just have to digest all this. Tomorrow we have the PCE. That is the Fed's favorite inflation gauge. So watch that very closely. That can definitely move the markets. So let's get right into it. All right. So this is the economic calendar for this week. Like I said, GDP was a big miss. And then we have the PCE tomorrow. But next week, all right, Wednesday, that is the FOMC interest rate decision. What will they do? Will they raise it 25 basis points? It's likely, especially after seeing these companies still earning a lot of money. Earnings have been good. So we'll see what happens. But that's Wednesday. That's for next week. We have the jobs report on Friday. Now, the bonds today. Look at this move in the bonds. Up a ton with the market up. This is very rare. This doesn't happen often, as the tech stocks don't usually like when the yields rise. Also, the GDP was a miss. Normally, you would see the 10-year down a lot as far as the yield goes. That didn't happen. So the market is really throwing some curveballs at investors right now. All right. So now going over to the markets, and where did this all take place? On Tuesday with Google earnings, they were very good. Microsoft earnings were very good. You can see these huge breakouts, right? And then yesterday, Meta's earnings were very good. And Amazon's earnings that came out today, which were very good. That stock is currently trading up here. All right. So you're going to see some huge gap up candles. Now, this is going to be great. This is really going to give us a lot of opportunity to trade these, right? Why do I say that? Well, look at Meta. Meta gapped all the way up here, RSI. Look at how high the RSI is getting. Now, it did the same thing here in the last earnings, held its gains for a few days, right? Because you don't usually want to go against a stock that is up at least over 10%. Usually there's a 3-day rule on that. So a lot of people will not start to short this, most likely, until about 3 days from now. So keep that in the back of your mind there. The 3-day rule definitely applies to these stocks right now. Metas, the Googles, the Amazons, the Microsofts, stocks that gapped up a lot, but traded over 10% for that day. There is that rule in effect. So if you would have done it and faded this the first day, you would have gotten stopped out big time on Microsoft. So that's the second day. I'm expecting some pullback as the RSIs get to that overbought territory. All right, so you have Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Google. All these stocks did really, really well with their earnings. You're going to have Apple coming up. So, Apple is one to keep on watch here as this approaches that trend line. This has been in this really tight wedge here. And this goes back, we could look at the 3-year. This goes all the way back to the end of 2021. So then 2022, you've had this kind of downtrend. You've had a huge rally. we're right back into that trend line now. The RSI is looking like it wants to come back up to overbought territory. So just keep these on watch. But this is going to give us some decent opportunities. I love when something looks like this, these huge gaps, because, you know, there's a tendency for these gaps to come back down, right? To fill in the gap. Now on Meta, if I was somebody that was in a trade here, I would definitely be looking to take some profit. Even if I wasn't in a trade and I got back all the way to, you know, this area here from last year, that's a nice thing as well. Now there is a huge gap to fill up to 300. That would take an extremely big rally in the tech stocks. Now the NASDAQ is already up so much on the year. Right now, currently up at 23%. You're also coming into this resistance here. All right. So that's where we're currently at right now on the QQQ. I actually took puts at the close. So I do have an unrealized loss for about $144 on that. But I traded Meta today really well, got 280 on that. And then the NASDAQ futures, I was actually down about 200 on that and started to scalp that to the short side after the earnings for Amazon came out. And I'll just show you guys here. So this is when the earnings came out, and this was great to fade. And that's what I did. I faded this, took profit down here. Let's see if it shows the trades that I got into. All right, shorted it here, covered here, got back in at the 9 EMA, and then shorted right here. All right, so that's what I did on the MQs to get back some of that loss. And that's where we stand right now. So the market is definitely looking very strong. But that being said, will it be a bull trap? And that's what I'm expecting. We got to see what happens, but we are gapping up here into resistance. We did come from support. So, you know, we're kind of still in that range. Even with this huge, huge green day, we're still in a range. We have not broken out of this yet. All right, so keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. Please hit the thumbs up for the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.